Iran's Trump's war. This isn't just about war. This could directly affect how the UK makes finances. What are your thoughts, mine and Chris's, as we debuckle what is effectively one of the greatest conflicts that is going to engulf the next generation of children, lives, costs, support, everything. This war could make or shake the whole Western alliance in its entirety.
How on earth is it going to do that then?
That's very, very simple. If America and the West fail, it will probably break NATO.
Do you realise America is the West?
No, it's not. And this is where one of these things that people misinterpret, that America isn't the West. Because without Europe, which there could be a serious seismic shift because of the oil problems that America has caused, without Europe, America has no way of launching itself across the world. Its aircraft carriers are not capable of carrying all of its military capacity. Because of the over-bloated capacity of America's military, without the European bases, which is only half a step behind America technologically, we're still more advanced than China currently, and I use that currently very, very loosely. China ain't more than 5 or 10 years militarily behind most of Europe, which means she's only about 15 years behind the rest of America. But in essence, if this war pinches the pocket of me and you, the Europeans, too much. In fact, it's already too more now. It's too much. There's going to be a disastrous reverberations. Because you will find the right-wingers, the people who are all independent Europe and Europe this, who are backed by these American billionaires, they're going to fall. Because the cost of living is going to be massively, drastically affected by 20% of our fuel not coming to the world. Because everyone's buying less. Everybody's dipping in the same pond for money to pull the oil out of, and that oil pool is dropped. We've already got Russia under sanctions, one of the world's largest oil providers. Those sanctions are going to collapse. It's going to affect Ukraine. Ukraine will likely be sacrificed. If the American war in the Middle East ends and Trump pulls out and says, not my problem, not my oil, I don't need it, you need it, I don't, and he leaves, Netanyahu's fucked. Europe is fucked oil-wise, because we're softly seen as being allies to him. This could very likely reach your borders. I mean, if you were sat at the Chancellor's seat now and told that petrol's going to hit 400 pence a barrel, a litre, sorry, not a barrel, what would your response be? That's like
drill in the fucking north.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris, completely. Drill in the fucking north. Ed Miliband, you fucking retard, drill in the north.
I'm sorry, but if you turn around and said, I was going to spike that much,
it's
the only thing I'll be going...
Chris, it's 150 pence a barrel, a litre now.
I was going to say, the only thing I'll be doing is going, I need another source. Where can I get another source?
Like, we've still got whole fields in the north of the fucking country.
I'll be like, where's the other source? Time to get another source. Stop relying on America.
And not just America, the Middle East as well.
And the Middle East as well.
Because we could lessen the cost to Europe. We could ship... if we put full production into the North Sea, and I know all the green people are going to say, oh, the green net... No, we can't. There's a literal fucking war starving 20% of the planet's fucking goddamn energy. We need other sources. If we're not going to open up to Russia, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea.
The argument I would turn around and say to the Green Party is like, do you want us to continue to draw off a highly expensive source, which is going to bankrupt most people and send people into poverty, including yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, no, the Green Party, I don't know how the fuck they manage to finance themselves sometimes.
No, but it will affect you as well, in one way or another, yeah? Which means no more avocados for you, Green Party, yeah?
Avocado toast! You have to laugh into this situation, Britain, because it is a bad situation.
Or find a separate source, which we can then supply ourselves.
And help take the pain off Europe.
And help bring the cost down of everything else. Not just us, but Europe as well, because it'll be better Europe. Europe will be more...
Could you imagine how much of a tidy problem... You see, I can see Chris's wheels clicking around his head here. I could be the new oil baron of Europe. Think of digging Britain out of debt that way. Europe we want to access your single market. We'll sell you cheap oil.
Single market deal equals nice oil deal.
As a deal made in heaven there. Don't even need to get it from the Russians. We are the blue-collar workers. what politics actually means for working people here in the UK. I'm John, Sean or Yucca, depends on who you're asking.
I'm Chris.
And thank you for joining us again. As you can see, we're getting a little bit more combative with what's going on in our podcasts. Today, I'm mostly focusing on on Iran and Trump's war. I'm not saying Iran and America because it really isn't America. America's people do not want to be at this war. There's millions of them protesting right now.
I'm not surprised, to
I
be honest.
just need to be very, very clear. They're aware of how the economical system works, and they are keenly aware how this can break. Donald Trump may or may not be sending ground troops in.
The moment he does is the moment it turns into a bloodbath.
I mean, this is Vietnam. This is going to be his Vietnam.
Yeah.
This is going to be Donald Trump's Vietnam. And we're going to get dragged into this if we don't get off this fucking crazy boat now.
Yeah, we don't even need to step foot in that now. Absolutely not. Obviously, on my side, nice, lovely, more homegrown one. Verdict on Stammers and Reeves' leadership so far. Yeah.
Look, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. May elections.
No.
The verdict will be said in 6 weeks.
No, I was going to say that verdict so far. I think it's going to give a pretty good insight of what the potential outcome of in 6 weeks.
I got to say this though. I'm going to push back on this. I don't think the Labour will do as badly as Farage makes them out to say they will. You see, Farage is giving this opinion.
Farage is a blowhard.
Blow hard, darling, blow hard.
All this, no action.
If you noticed, he's lost half the councillors he's appointed.
Yeah, because of that
They're resigning. They're pulling out.
That nice lovely new far right party that's come up.
Restore Britain. They are scary.
It's floating in the right hand distance, ready to swoop in and knock Farage out.
I genuinely think they're never going to get to the centre. The Restore Britain are too crazy to get anywhere. Farage is trying to pull himself into the centre.
This is resulting in him losing members.
Losing his right flank, who want really coffee-stained coloured nastiness. They don't want any of this. Oh, we've got to appeal to the centre. Fuck that! Throw all them blood darkies out the country. That's what Restore Britain thinks. And it's genuinely... I shouldn't have said that. I might have to cut that. Oh, to be lavish and television. I'm just trying to give a kind of role play approach on how the Restore Britons think.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. Even though Restore Britain is extremely far right, they are currently voicing some major concerns that most people have at the moment. But I think that's where they're playing on them to get.
They are,
yeah,
because they have some fucking evil opinions.
Yeah.
Because Chris, they're not talking about just deporting everybody who's not me and you.
Yeah.
They're talking about deporting the white, not me and you, Ukrainians, Poles, the people having babies. You're the white people having babies.
Hence the reason why I'm like, they touch on some valid points, but they take it to the extreme. Yeah.
Farage is just, oh wow. I think Farage is fucking right wing. Let her fucking.
Farage, if I was you, I would take those points which your extreme side is bringing up.
Oh, he does.
Bring them.
No, the problem is, Chris. Every time Farage talks about a policy, let's take an example. There was a quote I made from going back nearly 12 or 13 podcasts for us. He had a love fest with the fishermen, the farmers, the builders, the engineers, the estate people, and like all of his ex-lovers, politically speaking, they all feel jilted now because he's forgotten about them. And that's Farage's problem. He moves on and on and on and on and constantly changes his tune depending what is hot in the population. He's a populist. And populists do not run good countries.
Did he used to be blonde?
Farage, I have no idea.
No. This is me playing on a lovely stereotype. The mind changes every time the wind blows.
Genuinely, I think when it comes to Farage, it's very easy to pick bones on Farage, but Nigel Farage lacks consistency. No, he lacks consistency. He doesn't take his subject and stick with it. He moans about migration, but he shifts where he wants to fix the migration. He starts talking about picking out laws without any kind of constructability. Anyway, we've drifted off from where we were going to go. Oil has spiked by 150 pence per litre. That's £2.30 a litre now in the UK. Right now, that affects your pocket.
Depends on where you are.
No, that's the lowest. That's £2.30 is one of the lowest costs in Asda car parks as of Friday.
I can tell you now, I'll find cheaper.
Oh, that won't last long.
No, it won't. There is cheaper. There is cheap. People look. There is cheaper out there.
£2.30 is the average low end per litre of the tank of petrol today, and that's 2 more months from that. The experts say it could triple. £6.50 a litre, Chris.
What are we, American prices?
Jesus Christ, kind of levels. It has every potential of damaging the British people economically on every level.
Ed Miliband, drilling in the north.
Drill in the north! Drill in the north! Drill in the north! For fuck's sake! We can't even straight. We're not even fucking goddamn oil barons. We're genuinely on the side of let's get renewable ready and up and running. But before we do that, Ed Miliband, drill in the north.
You need that stability to actually be able to progress.
Stammer, if Ed Miliband does not start thinking about drilling in the north, you know what you need to do with him? You're fired. Maybe you might actually get a backbone one day.
You might actually win some public votes if you do that.
Hey, Joe, that's cynical. I know. Just thinking about this. Keir Starmer, realising he's got May elections, fires Ed Miliband, puts an oil baron in charge of his energy ministry, lowers British petrol prices for the May elections. Because they said it would only take them 4 weeks to be able to set a rig up.
You do that, most people try and go,
we don't like you, but you'll do for now.
You're not my favourite, but you just made my average bill go massively lower. I'll keep you for the moment.
There we go, we've saved Keir Starmer's career. Fire Ed Miliband, put one of the SO fucking oil barons in charge of the industry. Regulation, drill baby, drill.
No, BP oil baron, not an SO one.
No, the SOs have got all the new tech.
Have they got all the new tech?
That's why. It's cheaper.
Okay. Latest tech oil baron, get in charge.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Put that. I think it's SO. You chuck a major oil baron into the ministry. You drill until we're stable, because that war is not going to go away. Okay, that's why you make these emergency kind of decisions. If Ed Miliband doesn't shift within a week, I'd say fire him because then you've got time to drill and lower the prices from the North Sea. Parliament should act now to secure the North Sea oils for the British people as fast as humanly possible. Asda warns of temporary shortages at some petrol pumps amidst the Iranian war. Comments from both Alan Legington, comes as a squeeze on supply, drives the average UK petrol price above 150p a litre and could easily move it to 300 pence a litre. £4. And Asda suspects that'll be within 4 weeks.
God.
£4 a litre, Chrissy. How's that tank of yours looking now? And I know yours is economical. Could you imagine the drinkers out there? Oh!
I won't exactly call my neck economical anymore.
Oh, no. You're boasting.
After the work I've done to it, it's not as economical as all it could be.
So £4 a litre sounds a bit pricey for you, does it?
No, it just means I won't be driving about much. It means that sport mode will never be used.
Park my car up until the war finishes. I'll walk to work.
Cycle to work.
Get rid of that potch on you then, won't it?
I ain't got much of a podge left. You got a bigger one than me, so
motherfucker, I'm almost 4 stone heavier than you. That doesn't count. I'm also taller than you, Dwarficles.
It's not much taller than me, thank you very
Well,
much.
that is nearly 5 inches. I mean, you're 4'11", aren't you?
Hardy, ha. If I was 4'11", I'd be like, hello, people.
Well, that's why I gave you the extra excuse.
Don't you turn around and try playing that game.
He really has a short man syndrome. He has a Napoleon approach to these problems.
Now stick me in charge of the UK and watch what happens.
All them biggers can kiss their ass.
I'll give you all backache. Have a capital now. I like the way you say I'm a short ass, yet an actual theory I'm about the average male.
No, you're the low end of the average height.
I'm still within the average
height. Yeah, you are. You're the lower. You're in the, what, you 5'6"?
Just over 5'6", 5'6",
yeah.
point something.
Yeah, for anyone's information, there's only 4 inches between us, but I do like to give him a load of stick for it. Being the fact I'm 5'10", he's 5'6", he's at the bottom end of average. But he does.
High end of average.
He's at the bottom end of average, and he does moan about his height quite a lot because I tease him about it all the time. It's the one thing he can't fix. I've contemplated buying him those step shoes and give him a couple of inches. Especially with a special date that's coming up. You look good at 5'8", Chris, with them 2-inch fucking shoes.
I'm at 5'8" with the shoes I got on now. What do you want?
Okay. Special heels.
No, they're just standard heels. No, I know the shoes you're on about. They're called step-ups, and they add about 4 to 6 inches, depending on the size you get. Absolutely. And I have tried them on, and I do turn into your height.
You know, you do not approach 5'10", darling. You
with
might
the
just...
heels on, yeah. With those advanced stepping heels, yeah.
Oh, the advanced, yeah. They give you 4 inches.
Yeah, give me 4 inches, yeah.
Jesus. The minute he walked through the joint, oh,
just a disappointment on the woman's face when I get into the bedroom, flip your shoes off, and I drop.
That comes from a Deadpool Wolverine moment. Oh, Eddie's so cute. Oh, our fuel costs have increased by about 20% across the entire United Kingdom. And they could go another 20%. We're not even anywhere close to the end of this Iranian conflict. Let's be very, very clear about this. Trump is thinking about putting boots on the fucking ground right now. Right fucking now. So this isn't getting less, this is escalating. There's no quick ending to this war, that man thinks. Go on.
Who's actually allowed to go through that current pass at the moment that Iran's letting
7 nations, just 7 of them.
Yeah, who is the 7 nations?
China, I think India, maybe Pakistan. I'm not entirely sure. Let me have a quick look.
I saw it pop up the other day, the fact that there's only 7 people. Only 7 nations only letting through.
7 nations going through the Straits of... what's it called? Hormuz. There we are. Hormuz. Give me a second. It'll just do this. China, India, Iraq, Pakistan. I was right. Malaysia and Thailand. That's it. Fucking hell. Good news though.
Have you noticed it's all Middle Eastern or Eastern people?
Chris, Iraq is next door to Iran. That's it. They just put it across the border.
No. If you know what I mean, like literally, the 7 nations are letting through are all from the Middle East to the right, the east.
Straits of Hormuz include Iran, which controls the waterways, along with China, India, Iraq, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Thailand.
All to the east.
Yeah.
And the Middle East to the east.
They're countries that have neutral to friendly relationships with Iran, which is not many as it is. Russia has no need of it.
Russia's got... Yeah, hang on. Yes, come on, Ed Miliband. Take some notes from Russia. Have your own oil supply.
So the scary reality is, because he's so green, I don't think he'll do it. I think we're going to have force Keir Starmer to say. And Keir, I doubt you even look at our podcast. But if you did, my advice, fire Ed Miliband. Put a new energy minister who's pro-drill in the north, get the prices in just as the elections come round.
If you turn around and get oil drilled from the north and lower our bills,
it will take a dent out of Farage's fucking fire.
It would be a pressure release on you keeping your job.
Oh, absolutely. He might not make the next election, but he may make it to the next election.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's a very important. We might have a stable government. If he drilled in oil in the north now, it will take a lot of pressure off us. It will allow us to supply the Europeans. So that's money. That's fucking money.
Which you can then turn around and use to negotiate
into
a
the
fantastic market.
Because the Europeans will be bent over a barrel. They don't want to buy Russian. They can't get the Middle Eastern. So they're going to come to the British table. This is an opportunity for Britain. And for Europe as a whole, because Europe could benefit with European oil.
Grabbing that deal with both horns going, let's rein us in.
You would be in Germany tomorrow if you were the Chancellor.
Yep.
I will put a gun to my fucking energy minister's head. I will have oil in your markets within the next 6 weeks. I want access to the single market. I'm telling you that any sensible German Chancellor would go, yeah, that's a deal.
And as soon as you got Germany, the rest would just go, hang on, they made a deal with Germany, France will fall.
No, Chris, you missed it. When it comes to Europe, people don't realise France is one of our, not by military defence, but on domestic stuff, France is more friendly to us than the Germans are.
No, that's what I mean.
You wouldn't need to convince the French.
And
The French
once you got Germany, everyone else will fall straight in.
I think the reality is us re-entering the single market with deal for cheap oil from the North Sea. So you're making a profit because the access being choked, obviously, but you're not making a stinging profit to the Europeans because you're balancing that for the single market entry, and that becomes a bonus because then once the war has ended, and it will end eventually, and everything starts to settle again, and the realignment of the world's economical things, Europe has still access to its own oil supplies without needing to coodle Russia. And that's an important factor.
If anything, you become more bigger power play and everyone else goes, oh, fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not even a supporter of fossil fuel industries.
I have a distinct feeling if we manage to get drilling in the north and supply, obviously, us in Europe with oil, the war in the Middle East will collapse.
No, because the Iranians only have to survive. The goal in this conflict, Chris.
No. I mean, it's the case of fact. Obviously, US is obviously going to causing issues with Iran.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get our own oil supply, the West, America, loses its little bargaining chip with us.
Yes.
Because we've got our own.
Yes.
So they'd be like, why? So why are we there? They then stop pursuing Iran. Iran realizes we got our own stuff, which means they now got to come and barter at the EU table for better deals when they've caused issues with everybody else. Russia will then also have to turn around and barter. If anything, we'll bring the entire global market down by having our own supply.
The reality is that Britain needs to re-drill only for the template. And I know the Green Pact 2030 is not going to happen. Kids, I'm sorry to say that has to be fucking openly spoken. I'm a supporter on the idea of independent fuel sources from micronuclears, reactors. Me and Chris like the idea.
So you turning city rooftops into solar farms.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very supportive of the idea of generating our energy at home. Very much. For now, and I mean that now, meaning this year, meaning next year, we need to fucking drill.
Think how much energy London could produce for the entire UK if they turn around and just solar panels the entire city.
As I keep saying, very few people realise that one of the key problems we have in London is the infrastructure of London roofing isn't indicative towards having a solar panels. We need to start in London for solar panels, clearing the tops, getting all those antennas off, having dedicated antenna buildings, which we don't. We strap them to everything else.
You start off with the residential flats.
They're the ones we have the buildings that we have the specialist antennas on.
Yes. Oh.
That's what I'm trying to get at. The multi-purposing of London flats and industries is the fact that they are being used for other things, communications networks. I looked into it just recently because we don't have dedicated communication towers anymore.
In that case, then you'd have to turn around, take a bit of restructuring, but you go half and half. So half for obviously half for.
You wouldn't even need that.
And then half for the solar panels.
No. Professor William Gordonberg of London's Economics University, he turned around and said you would need to solar panel more than 15% of London to make it entirely power sufficient. 22%, and you're starting to power the towns outside London.
So if you
So like you said, your ideas are very achievable.
Yeah.
So you say we restructure a couple of the properties where we can get the big roofs. We take the big properties, get the big roofs, move the other infrastructure around a little bit. Probably cost a couple £100 million. He says literally 15 to 20%, and you've powered London.
And then you can turn around and copy that design in every other big city.
Absolutely. As he said, it's the lack of willpower to do the actual stuff.
No, hang on. I feel it's not lack of willpower. It's not more blockage from the energy companies.
No, it's not. No. The funny thing is, the British energy companies know there's real money to be made now in green. Green technology's dropped so much that it's not oil. No energy company, none of the renewable energy companies except nuclear. Let's be very, very clear about that. Have reached oil and gas level. Fossil fuels are still there. The problem is the gap between fossil fuels and renewable, as in electric, wind, and that, is shrinking by the year.
So the cost is coming down.
Yeah, the cost is massively coming down because of both national investment, because of a public opinion investment, because of private equity.
So the fact obviously people are more interested in it, which means the technology is advancing.
Yeah, of course.
Means making it
The cost is dropping. It's not that me and you were in our 20s and it was like, oh, solar panel. It costs enormous amounts of money. No, it doesn't these days. They are much more achievable on an industrial level.
No, clearly, because the fact they're building it into houses.
Yeah, the problem we're having is me and you still have infrastructure when we were 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Britain's infrastructure is monstrously problematic. We'd have infrastructure from the 50s, 60s and 70s. We haven't had a really big infrastructural project since then. And that's where our telecommunications, I think, started in the 70s with a little bit of an update in the 80s. We've had look at our 5G. It's stalled. 5G is only in like 5 or 6 major communicational areas nowadays.
You see, we got it in Gloucestershire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because we've got GCHQ.
Yeah.
They needed it for GCHQ. If we didn't have GCHQ, we wouldn't have 5G. I'm telling you that now.
Damn.
Colchester doesn't have it. Lincolnshire doesn't have it. Many of the old cities in Britain don't have it. Worcestershire doesn't have it. So I mean, as in full 5G coverage. The reason we've got it in Gloucestershire is we have a major military infrastructure that needs the updated technology. So we have that slight bonus of being our location. Just for everyone's aware, if the world ever goes into a nuclear war, we in Gloucestershire will never know. We will all be dead far too quickly to find out because of GCHQ being right next door. Like, me and Chris are like, nuclear bang! Oh, that went quickly.
You get...
we won't be part of the group that suffers, because if you survive...
We won't be part of the group that survives. What you want?
That's what I mean, the suffer. No, Chris, that's the point. If you survive a nuclear winter, you've got the horrific job of recovery. Me and you, we live in a county where we are one of the targets.
We're in the vapor zone. It depends on the size of the nuke they use.
Russian nuclear ballistic missiles for military targets like GCHQ are 125 plus. That hits us where we are sat right now. And you know how far we are from GCHQ.
How far does the vaporization zone go from GCHQ?
It's about, from that type of Russian nuke, 35 miles.
That's Gloucester Street.
Yeah, as I said, that's everything in our area.
Part of Tewkesbury.
And then you've got the backwash goes another 15, 20 miles.
Yeah, damn.
So everything within 50 miles of GCHQ, so Gloucester Central is just gone. The city's gone. Most of the major towns in Gloucestershire are gone. Lower and Forest Dean are still here. For what that's worth, with the Foresters being the survivors. All right, Cisco, it's baby making time.
Damn, because Foresters have already got a reputation of being inbred. Just imagine you could have fallen out onto that. Jesus Christ.
We're the hillbillies. The Forest
Hills have eyes times 20.
The Forest Dean has a really bad reputation here in Gloucestershire. It's probably undeserved. In the past, there were a couple of high-profile incest cases in the Forest Dean, but these were, what were they, 70s, 80s?
Yeah, but they still haven't brushed off
that lingering taste has never left the Forest of Dean. Like, there was more than one. I think...
That's what I mean. It got it because of the fact there was multiple cases of it. So if you ever date a Forester, think how good their genetics are. Or how inbred their genetics are.
Oh, Jesus. Holy shit.
What?
There are 255 cases of direct sibling to cousin relationships in the Forest of Dean from 2007. Jesus Christ!
Hence the reason why I'm like, it's got a stain on it and it's not going to move anytime soon.
2.3% of the Forest of Dean is believed to be too closely related. Holy shit! I didn't know it was this bad! I knew it was bad! I didn't think it...
I think of nuclear fallout with that.
Oh my God! Oh, jeez. From 2007, Chris, that's not even 20 fucking years ago.
I'm trying to think of the name of the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it when they were on Mars.
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Breasts.
Yeah.
3 breasts and multi-arms.
But that's just in the local Forest Dean area.
I can't believe that. 250 cases of brother to cousin relationships in the Forest Dean alone in 2007, representing 2.3% of the entire fucking goddamn forest area parish. That's not even our Gloucestershire, that's the parish of fucking Forest. All my days, you foresters are inbreds. You're all fucking inbreds. I don't care what anyone says now. I was trying to be gentle and kind about it. The locals says, oh no, it's bad. So that's the thing in school. You were probably told about that then, were you? Yeah, that seems like something. Jesus.
We're in school, you're like, be careful of foresters.
Fucking hell. I thought that was just bad rumours because we talk about that about South Londoners, okay? We tend to call the South London Cockney community similar to that. They're not. They're genuinely not. There's too few of them left now to be able to have that kind of communication. But there used to be a stigma where you were from South London, that they said, oh, they're inbred south of the fucking river. And that's what I thought it was. It was a joke. This is actually quite real. These fuckers are inbreds. Oh my days. Can't run on a tangent here, to be honest. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Forest of Dean. Oh my God. Just as a recap towards what's going on in the war in Iran, major infrastructure inside of Iran itself is getting serious. We're now seeing major infrastructure across Gulf countries being bombed. That is semi-permanent. That is going to have years worth of recovery. And we're talking about...
You think Iran had a grudge then? No, with this, that's... Damn.
We're talking about kind of infrastructure that's going to stop oil production from the Gulf for years.
Drilling the north,
drilling the north. That's the only thing we can really say about it, to be honest. I think the failure to learn from the past is Donald Trump's major problem. He bought into his own Kool-Aid. And we're great, America can do everything, we can solve all of our problems, we're the greatest nation in the world. We're not, okay? We're really not.
Do Americans stem from Forest to Green?
Well, I don't know. You see, the scary thing is they're my cousins. They're Irish. So they shouldn't be doing that because we taught them well. We raised them properly. 200 years ago, we taught them how to behave themselves.
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. All it takes is that one wayward one to turn around and convince the rest.
Fuck, don't even start with me, okay? White America, stop fucking your sisters in the South, okay? You're giving us a bad fucking reputation here. You're all fucking related to me because I'm the part of the family that didn't go across the river with you, across the Atlantic.
It doesn't help the fact that the horror movies emphasise that even more.
The problem being is, everyone jokes about Alabama, about the inbreds in Alabama, but it's not that bad. It's not Alabama. It's places like Pennsylvania and places like Louisiana. They are where the real inbreds are. Where you got the bayous and that lot, where people, communities are very truly shut off. We're talking.
Those are called proper outback.
Yeah. Because people give it. Alabama is actually a very connected state. Let's be very, very. And I think that the joke came from Alabama because of a couple of high-profile cases. But the truly where that shit goes on, so my American friend tells me. And again, I'm only going by hearsay, so forgive me, Americans, if I'm wrong. I'm told it's places like the really deep parts of Louisiana and places like that, and the bayous where. You'll be lucky if you see a major fucking road. They use literal
dirt roads.
No. The bayous are using some kind of hovercraft. It's a kind of
hoverboats.
The hoverboats. Yeah. They use those for transport. So they don't even have major roads. They don't have drifters coming through. So the appeal to fuck your sister.
The ones with the massive fans on the back.
The appeal to fuck your sister is doing quite high out there.
Or your cousin.
No, your sister. That's the problem. It's not even cousins out there. Cousins is, oh, I'm fancying adventurous for my wife. I want to marry my cousin, not my sister. Oh. And yet, in the Islamic world, amongst my Muslim brothers and sisters, you Pakistanians believe marrying your first cousins is perfectly normal. And I still consider that nasty. Okay, let's get this right. That's nasty however you look at it. Whether it's from the Muslim world or the non-Muslim world, that's nasty.
Sisters is just no. Cousins, you look like a freak.
And you know it's legal in Britain to marry your first cousin.
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
It's still frowned upon, though.
Motherfucker, it's practically ostracising to British society.
These days, most people turn around and go, without even realising it, because obviously, family tree from generations back obviously spanned out that way. You end up finding out you got like a great grandfather or something that's the same.
Saying that, I mean, you can kind of forgive it if you're in a relationship with a girl that you've not met before, you don't know her, and then you find out she's your second cousin. That can become more acceptable. That's becoming more acceptable now.
Most people are fine with second cousins because they don't realise that you are second cousins.
Yeah.
The size of the family tree just goes like that.
Yeah.
Because
close first family raised cousins.
Most people reckon most people get in a relationship with technically like fifth, sixth, seventh cousins.
Yeah, but then that's far enough away. There's enough genetic diversity there.
That you realise you're still within your what's called family tree, but there's been that much. That many people, the gene pool, it's not really going to affect anything.
No, of course not. Because in the hypothetical situation, if I was to date one of my second cousins, I wouldn't. Most of them are half mixed on this continent. Let's be quite frank about that. So I think two of my second cousins are Caribbean. Two of my second cousins are, one of them's actually Iranian. That's fucking crazy. She's Iranian Christian. From London, so the Christian community of Iranians alongside the Zoroastrians and I think they're called the Assyrian Christian community is one of my second cousins. They've all fled Iran. They've been out of Iran for decades. So I say Persian Christian, if most people understand what I'm saying there. But my second cousins, almost all of them are not even part. I'm one of the few remaining white boys in my whole clan. The next generation, there's only about 3 of them that we're carrying my skin colour, so I'm all good for
Caucasian.
Caucasian.
People don't like the word white. A white boy, a white man.
Motherfucker, I don't care. I'm from London, you know what I'm saying? No, but I think there's three in the next generation who are actually what you call Caucasian. And even they've got gypsy blood in them, which is Trevor and myself. 3 of them, and the French connections of my family are entirely different. You know what I'm saying? I've got mix and mix going around all over. I've only got 3 nieces and nephews who are actually white, which I think is a good thing. I genuinely do think it's a good thing because I think it involves avoiding genetical mistakes. They're still very British though. But that is my take. I think the truth from the Prussian military strategist Helmut von Moltke the Elder, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, is a perfect example of what Trump is facing. Trump's goals of regime change have not happened. Trump's goals of keeping the Horn of Hormuz open hasn't happened. Trump's goals of a great revolution and be out in 6 weeks hasn't happened. We need to really plan as a nation and as Europe in a better methodology to move away from Middle Eastern oil. Let's be very, very clear about that. And I think that we need to accept that. And admittedly, Trump has started this war. It's a global fucking shit state. It really is. But we have the means to move away because Norway has access to oil. Britain has access to oil. We should develop European oil resources. Over to you, Chris.
Oh, it's a lovely current verdict on Stammer and Reeves' leadership so far.
Drill, you're safe till the fucking next election.
Alright, this one's a bit of a mixed bag. Well, not a mixed bag, more of a tear down. You fart.
If we reach May and you haven't solved our oil problems, you're going to get raped.
Go on.
No. The Labour will get absolutely murdered at the polls if they haven't sorted the oil problem by May.
Well, obviously, at the moment, raising economic anxiety is a massive thing, obviously due to the war, which affects, obviously, inflation, taxes, living costs, and at the end of the day, how much disposable income you actually got at the end of the day. Several lovely factors. Just to reel off a couple of facts, which I think is actually quite lovely. Thing of a poll that people have taken of the ISIP's polling, the people expecting high interest rates has soared by 16%.
Jesus.
Then to 56, nearly 9 out of 10 people, that's 89% of the people they polled, are concerned about the cost of living over the next 6 months, of how it's going to drastically increase. And literally almost 80%, 86% of those people are braced for an increase across the board of everything. And 79% are literally going, the price of utilities are going to go through the roof. And more than half of that are expecting their disposable income at the end of the day to be halved over the next 12 months due to the cost of everything going up. And almost, well, over a third, so it's 36% of people thinking their standard of living is going to decrease.
Oh, absolutely we are. We're getting fucked. We're getting royally fucked. And I think we need to start realising that Keir Starmer has very little understanding in how to deal with domestic problems.
As we've said again and again and again, fantastic foreign minister, shit at domestic. And then we come into his lovely co-captain, Rachel Reeves.
Chris's favourite person in the world. Rachel, he's got knives out for you.
As I call her, the tax baron, because that's what she's done.
Jesus! Calling a Labour fucking Chancellor the tax baron. Fucking hell, Chris.
Well, tell me at one point where they haven't raised taxes. Yeah,
fair. We are dealing with a global oil crisis right now.
No, this has been proven. Since the start of Labour, there's been a tax increase every 10 days.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Since Labour's come into power.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's disastrous.
Some form of tax increase every 10 days. I thought one of their manifesto things was to decrease tax. So basically saying the first 10 days they're in office, they broke one of their main promises straight off the bat. That is disgusting. I'm sorry. And the main people that are actually feeling it are the businesses.
Jesus.
I bet that some people are thinking.
I mean, the high street is already dying.
Yeah. I say the main way that obviously businesses are obviously feeling it is the cost, not obviously due to obviously wages being obviously increased, actually because they naturally need to. Otherwise the balance just goes askew if, and we'll all be living in cardboard boxes. But also the amount of tax they pay, the amount of national insurance they pay, amount of fees they pay for licensing and everything else, because all of it's just gone up.
Yeah. I mean, the cost of living has been spiked, but we are in one of, like, the world has lost 20% of its fuel. No economy is growing this year. Let me be very, very clear about this. No economy will grow this year.
Hence the reason why there's increasing anxiety on the economics. Because the fact all they're seeing is cost going up, and no leeway, no breathing point, no dip, no drop, no nothing.
I mean, I agree that the geopolitics or the turmoil that the world is suffering is giving the Labour government a bad fucking hand. They have a shit hand to deal with. And yes, it might be common sense for me and you to say, let's take the pressure off by doing, things that allow us remove tax, do this, do that. But where are we filling the holes that the Tories gave us? Because we've had 14 years of hole digging from the Tories. And you have to acknowledge that from a perspective. And it's hard, because I don't like Rachel Reeves any more than you do. But I can't sit here and let you just stab her up without at least some perspective. When you take into perspective oil crisis, social problems, we're outside the EU market. We don't have many cushions.
But there's always a resolution to everything, and they've got the no backbone to do the thing that will help the general populace. Instead, they just raise taxes and bleed us dry instead. Because, for example, Ed Miliband is refusing to freaking drill oil in the north, which would ease the current pressure on the oil fuel taxes and everything else.
It would.
Yeah.
There would be serious.
You could see an out, and all they have to do is put in some hard work to work around the legalities to make sure it doesn't turn around and fuck up the ecological thing in every nature. Sorry, I'm going to call it nature. Yeah, the nature around that area. If they turn around and do it correctly, but I'm sorry, but when since has the government ever actually done anything correctly within the past fucking decade?
Yeah, no, but that's longer than the Labour government's been there.
Hence the reason I said within the past decade. The Labour government hasn't been there.
I fundamentally feel that if Ed Miliband will probably not be there in May. I don't think we'll have him as an energy minister. If this war is still going on in May, with all that's being covered, including the anxieties, including the fuels, if there is going to be a power restructuring in May, if the war hasn't been wrapped up, if Trump doesn't get it quickly done and it's all magnificent and we're going to win, and we know he's not, all right, there's going to have to be a deal on the table. The only way that we're getting out of this conflict with Iran is a deal on the fucking table. I don't like the idea of our ships escorting the oil shipments out either.
No, because literally, obviously, the left side, the green side, want us to reach eco.
Yes. Yeah? I know again, and I want that as well. But backdrop of the geopolitics. Backdrop, we're not in the single market. Backdrop, we have a spineless prime minister.
I was going to say.
Backdrop, Rachel Reeves, the taxpayer. That's a backdrop now. She's a fucking backdrop.
You just made a very good point, which I'm going to raise. Is where was the planning?
You can't plan for these fucking global events, Chris.
No, you need to turn around and say.
How do you plan for a crazy motherfucker like Donald Trump? How do you plan for Trump?
You turn around and go, right, I want to reach this by 2030. You have to take into every contingency
plan
possible.
Did you not just hear what I said literally 40 minutes ago?
Yeah.
No plan survives contact with Donald Trump.
Yeah, but you've got to turn around. I'm sorry, but I'll be thinking miles ahead. Right, so I want to do this by 2030.
That's marvellous. That's marvellous. Yeah, Donald Trump.
That's
take
lovely.
your plan, burn it.
That's lovely. Yeah, but you then turn around. How is the planning not being turned around and go, all right, so if we're heading this way, what if this comes up? What if that comes up? What if this comes up? Have we got a plan to counteract that? Have we got a plan to counteract this? I'm sorry, but we live in a world where, for fuck's sake, the Americans like attacking the Middle East for the fucking oil. Let's get that right. Yeah? Case in point with the latest thing, just following them from previous bloody American presidencies where they go for oil.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I can't say my boy's wrong, but let's be fair about this. How do you plan? I mean, we're not even talking Greenland assault. How do you plan a cohesion plan against Donald Trump? I don't even like Rachel Reeves and Keir, but I have to know, this isn't a normal president.
Yeah. Hence the reason I'm like self-sustaining. Why are we relying on America or the Middle East for oil and security and support? Why have we stopped drilling in the north? Why have we stopped the progression of our own stuff within home? Why have we decided to open the borders up to every Tom, Dick and Harry from everywhere?
Well, because we're part of treaties. We are lawfully a part of the Refugee Treaty. These are the things that that nutcase and the Human Rights Act. Remember the things.
What about Poland then? Weren't they part of that treaty?
They are.
Yeah. So
they've broken the treaty. They've put more. They have violated the treaty multiple times while still being part of it. I don't know how the fuck they're still in the good.
Do I know how they've done that? They've answered what the people want. We don't want immigrants. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, the government needs to turn around and work for the people that they serve.
Yes, I agree.
And if the people would turn around and go, I don't want immigrants coming in willy-nilly.
But Chris, the problem being is you have a birth decline of 1.32. You do not have an industrial nation without immigrants.
I can understand the fact you need immigration, obviously. So
what your response is, you want controlled immigration.
Yeah, hence the reason why I'm like...
Farage wants no immigration. Yeah. Restore wants to throw the immigrants out. And I'm saying, let's calm the volume a little bit.
I'm saying, instead of just going, here's open borders, everyone come in, we're welcome. Sorry,
we don't have... No, push back there. No, we don't have open borders. We don't have
Explain the boats coming across the system.
That's not an open border. That's illegal fucking shipping.
Yeah, but that's still turn around.
That's not an open border.
Have we deported any that same exact amount?
No, because they're refugees. Because we're treaty bound.
I don't give a shit.
We are bound by treaty to acknowledge that they've come here to... How they got here may be illegal. That's not the question.
My first question to them will be, are you going to assimilate into our culture, our country and our culture?
Absolutely. Most of them would say yes.
Yeah.
And 85% of them probably will. The problem is we've got people like Farage and psychopaths and the occasional bad penny. Remember, that business that went on in that hotel with that 14-year-old girl, that was 1 out of 14,000, Chris.
Why haven't we made an example of him?
He's in prison now. What more of an example do you want? That's illegal.
Bring back the death penalty.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I know you can go on the right of me, but Jesus Christ, Chris. Look, I get it. There are heated temperatures involving things like immigration. The problem being is, one, we don't have open borders. Our borders are some of the most secure in fucking Europe. It's just, we have a massive multi-mile fucking border, and our opponents, the French immigration services, don't care. So they're getting off of France because the French are not stopping them.
President, Prime Minister doesn't have a backbone to try and enforce our controls.
If we were to put the cutters in the way that I suspect you and the more sensible reform voters want, we would probably breach European treaties. Treaties that allow us to do even the slightest bit of business that we're doing right now.
I've already turned around and said them for several podcasts before. The way to control illegal immigration is to put embassies up along France.
Yes, of course.
And Spain.
But the problem being is, no one wants to do that anymore. No one wants the illegal migrants to be in lawful migration. Because if they do so, they then have to answer the horrible questions that they don't want to answer. They use the illegal migration as a boogeyman. Oh, it's all these illegals. Because they don't want to answer the question of why do we have so much a high legal migration? Because our legal migration is massive, Chris. Illegal migration is what's stopping our country collapsing. Because me and you don't have kids. And that isn't because we don't want them. Me and Chris do. But we are 40-year-old men who don't have children. And there are 40-year-old women out there who don't have kids. And what I'm trying to get at is
that's a separate matter entirely.
Yeah, but we have a national problem with birth rate. And that comes to do with the tax. That comes to do with the social structural system. That comes with the lack of community that has been eroded by Margaret Thatcher in the 80s.
So why hasn't the government turned around and listened to...
Because the government has 150 fires to put out in one go. And I'm not a supporter of the Labour government.
No, yeah, but...
The fires are there regardless what government's in there.
157 fires, whatever. But the fact is, they ain't tackling the main concern that the public have.
The public only have this main concern because people like Rupert Murdoch and the Sun are making them the main concern.
So why isn't the government turning around and tackling it, stamping it down and going, yeah, we have crops. This is how we're doing it. This is the way we're doing it. I'm hearing very little of that, but very high amounts from the other side.
Of course, because the other side don't stop talking about it because it's their only talking point. It's their only talking point. They don't have anything else to discuss.
And the government needs to shut it down.
What we need is to tackle the real problem when it comes towards immigration. Immigration is not our problem. Shock. I've said this before. Yeah, immigration. No. Britain is living on 1950s infrastructure, designed for 55 million people tops. You have Harry Potter wand disappear all of the migrants. We are still 6 to 7 million people over that marker. The corporate and political elites of Britain do not want to build infrastructure for 70 million. They don't want to. Okay, that's just real. The doctors, the farmers, the pharmaceuticals.
Because they want to keep it in their pockets.
Exactly. That's the problem. The real problem we're looking at. It's not immigration. You wouldn't care about immigration if you had an affordable house and your wife and kids had a good school and health service was affordable at point of care and your NHS was careful. You wouldn't care. I know you. You've danced and laughed with black people. You couldn't give a shit. I know that because you're a sensible right-wing Briton. Okay? You don't care. It's the pressures that cause you to care. We need to alleviate that. And that's why this conversation is so much more harder to deal with. Because it's a complex conversation where the infrastructure is not there anymore. The corporate elite and the political elite know that we are operating on 55 million max infrastructure for the entire United Kingdom. That's from Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and us. The problem being is we don't have 55 million people. Even if you got rid of all of the blacks and browns and pink polka dot spots people, and I don't believe that, so please don't be offended by that.
The people that's the far right restore Britain, yeah. Pure British.
You would still be 6.5 million people over population.
Yeah, she said they don't want to build the infrastructure
because they don't want to build the infrastructure, and this is why the argument of the far right about getting rid of all the immigrants will solve our problems is dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Infrastructure is your solving problem.
Obviously, they keep chatting about it, but what's the government doing about it? Like trying to counteract that argument. Because the government doesn't want to sit down and have the conversation. Because the government knows it's Chris. What do you think it will take to rebuild the British infrastructure? The 70 million people comfortably living like you and I do with a house. Do you know how much money that will cost?
Anywhere between 3 to 500 billion pounds in a 10-year project. So we've got to guarantee we can get into government twice, and we've got to take a loan of about £500 billion onto the Britain's already 1.2 trillion debt. Do you understand how much of a risk that is for politicians to say that?
I don't give a shit. It betters the country. I'll take the risk.
Absolutely, so would I. But that's where me and you are more forward thinking. Politicians live in sound bites of, they say, a week in politics is almost a lifetime. Do you see what I'm saying? Every day, every hour is a news bite, and politicians have to respond to those. So their vision is tunnelled. They don't have enough people to batter the stuff out of the way and say, fuck it, fix the country. You fix the country by fixing the infrastructure. You take a £500 billion debt out. It doesn't matter. You borrow from Germany, for fuck's sake. Say, Germany, give me £500 billion. Give me £500 billion. I need to fix my infrastructure. I'll start then absorbing some of your migrant problems because I can now integrate them safely. The Germans would throw the money at us with a low offer. They say, oh, Britain, take money. Yeah, fix country.
I would turn around and tally that with, I'll also now drill oil in the north. I want access to the
Chris,
EU market.
the German bankers would be lining up to line your pocket. Line your pocket. The problem being is the politicians don't want the conversation, and nor do the billionaires in the country, knowing they'll have to pay for the infrastructure. Because the corporations will be the ones that will be paying back the Germans. Because I'd say your corporate tax is going up 12% and you can't use riders out of it.
I'd reframe the tax system.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Me and you have a plan on how we would restructure our tax system. We've always had a plan. We know we need to fix the tax, and infrastructure is a massive part of this country. We haven't had an infrastructure project since the 70s. That's longer than me and you have been alive.
That's crazy.
You know?
Hang on. It's tying all in. Yeah.
We haven't had an infrastructure project since the 70s. This is why it's not a brown person problem. It's an infrastructure scaling problem. And people don't want to say that. They don't want to admit the fact that the massive problem in the UK...
There's the infrastructure problem, then there's the society problem of the fact that...
That will solve itself. No, Chris, you put every racist white man in a 4-bedroom house with a wife, 2 kids, and a good tax system and a car, he stops being racist. I'm telling you that. If he has a job that allows him to do 40, 50 hours...
No, that sounds quite right. I've sold the infrastructure. Here's a house. You can afford it. Everything's affordable. Here's a wife to go with it.
Racist man dead.
Gone.
You could make the wife a beautiful black woman, he'd probably say yes. You save the racism and you mix the fucking country into a stable society.
I'm going to be quite honest here. You probably turn around and stick it most of the Middle Eastern hot women and Asian and Thai and all that one.
I have a multicoloured taste. What do you want me to say? What I'm trying to get at is you can get all the racist men to stop being racist tomorrow if you fixed your infrastructure. You'd end it stone cold dead. That's how the Greens win an election. If Palensky's smart, he says, I will take the political hit on the far left and say, we drill for 15 years, no more. We then use drilling money to rebuild our infrastructure, borrow from Germany, re-enter the single market, levy the fucking oil that we're making here for the Europeans. He does that, he wins the national election.
Whoever does that wins the next election.
Because it will wipe the ethno-nationalists, the Farages and the Restore Britain. Restore Britain won't. The Restore Britons are the coffee, evil fucking white nationalists. They will never give up the white nationalist view. Restore Britain is going to be around.
But their voice would be extremely dim because everybody has to be like, screw you, everything's balanced.
Yeah, exactly. I say Green because Palensky's wise enough to know where the political position comes from. And if he did this, he'd earn my vote. If he did that, he'd probably earn Chris's vote, and he's more right-wing than me. Chris would be like, you know what? You do that. You put that on your manifesto, and I'll put my vote on your table, son.
I'll be turning around, manifesto, where's the plan? Where's the plan? Where's your contingencies?
Answer. MP Bailey, what's the plan? Palensky says that. Goes, fair enough. I'll take that.
I'd step right and I go, no, not MP, Chancellor. Give me Chancellor. Sorry.
Make the nutcase the Home Secretary. I'll take all the illegal immigrants and I'll get them building all the houses. That's how you give them citizenship. Take them out of the hotels, get them building in caravans. You line up a couple of £100,000 worth of caravans in each caravan park, moving them from group to group to group, problem solved. They do 10 years, they're automatically citizens.
after a decent security check.
They wouldn't get into the park without your security check.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be offered the job without it. If they've got the I'm a rapist, I'm a murderer, I'm a thief, Chris has already thrown them out the fucking door. They haven't come to John's fucking work pool.
You're going to John's work pool because you're sound. What about me?
Back to France.
I see your criminal record here. France. Or you deal with my punishment. What's my punishment? You don't leave Britain alive.
That's the thing. The bad eggs are tiny in comparison. You would have tens of thousands of illegal immigrants. Let's say the Sun is right. Let's say the Sun and the Mirror and all the rags are right. So there's hundreds of thousands of them. That's a workforce. You turn them into the fucking housing industry. Cheap
houses will go up like.
Yeah, exactly. You give them either better yet, you say 10 years if you're working average. But if you do 100,000 houses in before those 10 years, that's your citizenship. So if I say towards a couple of healthy 20-year-old black men from Maitreya, you two finish 100,000 houses, you've been on the building sites and worked for 100,000 houses to the standards of British standards, your citizenship comes early.
Those houses will be going up like low tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because I just see it now. They're trying to go. There's a group, a section of 100 houses. Foundations laid. They're on to next site. Foundations come back. Structure goes up. Back. Structure goes up.
Do you know what I'm saying? Each group would want to get those 100,000 houses out very quickly, and then you're now churning them. They've earned their citizenship. They feel a part of society. The nationalists can fuck themselves. We're never getting rid of our mixed race community. We're not. It's end of conversation. I don't care what the store or anyone else says.
How many British, as they call people that are born here, British, mixed race?
It's around 9%.
9%. That's 9% of the UK.
You can't afford. I think it's 9%. Let me double check that number. What's the number?
So that's almost 10%. That's almost a tenth of the UK population that are of mixed race origin.
Heritage. We'll call it heritage. I did that fucking wrong. Give me a second. 1 point. No. My point is 2.7%. Nearly 3% of the total population. 3% of the population in 2022. By 2030, it will be 13% of the population. Because a lot of it is because its average age is 9.5. So the mixed population's average age, like our average age is now, me and you, we're in the 40s. The average British age is in the 40s. The mixed race group of the Britons is average age 9.
So that will only grow.
Yeah, that's a growth category by itself.
Yeah, so a good 10% of the population.
Yeah, by 2030, 10%. And
that's just based on people that are born here, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's born. That's born. That's born numbers.
Yeah.
Mixed race with one white British parent.
Yeah, that's called born within the UK. I'll see. Not
demographically 71.4% mixed race mother being white. The other 30% is the of the mixed race couples are your father's white. But the mixed category is white British ethnicity, and they're 1.8 million by 2022. And that is due to jump to around 11 to 12 million by the 30s, because of how low the population category age group is.
So it's going. Well, skin colour means nothing anyway.
Of course, that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So that's why we should take the illegal immigrants, as I was saying, turn them into a housing industry, 10 years or 100,000 houses. Jesus, Chris, your house will probably be gone.
Yeah,
it'll be gone by the time you've done your first
I
parliament.
can tell you, obviously, everyone's only concerned, as you pointed out, it's because of the fact they're coming over in a non-humane way via the boats and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
Instead of us.
Because they don't have access to immigration
instead of us.
Because you can't claim immigration in the UK in any foreign country. You can't even claim it in Gibraltar, which is British soil.
Yeah, because of us not, upholding to our British standards of getting things done correctly, of having embassies in the necessary countries to turn around and control the flow. So at the moment, as you said, it's the flow rate that's coming in, which is upsetting everybody.
Gibraltar cannot give asylum seekers to the UK main government. Even though it is considered a directly administered territory, it has independent authority around asylums given to them by the Conservative government to avoid asylum seekers seeking asylum on Gibraltar for Britain. So that's what I'm saying. The lawful means to seek asylum away from England, away from the boats, they're all closed.
So basically, they turned around and just got rid of all the embassies.
Yeah.
Was literally people coming through the embassies that bad?
No, that's the problem.
I swear now, people coming across on dinghy boats and everything else and pissing off the nation is more dangerous than actually turning around.
Absolutely, of course it is. It's 1,000 times more dangerous for both them and the community.
Yeah, it will stop. That will stop the.
Of course, you put immigration centres across the various areas.
That will stop smugglers.
Yeah, of course, it kills them go dead.
Because the smuggling.
But then Niger's response is so would a fleet of 40 cutters. But that's only dealing with the symptom, not the problem. The problem is people want to come to
you're only dealing with the symptom there. If you turn around and solve the problem by doing embassies in necessary parts, key positioning.
Yeah.
You have control. You have flow. You stop the smuggling gangs. You stop this unnecessary unnecessary.
You control
anger.
The flow. You control the flow too, the anger as well.
You stop the anger because everyone's coming in. You're able to do the checks before they even turn around and get on proper British soil, as we call it, not embassy soil.
It's mad the fact that you can land in Gibraltar or you could land in Northern Ireland. Well, no, if you're of Irish descent, you're allowed to claim asylum in Ireland to work in Britain. You can do that because of the cross border. So if an Irishman or an Irish woman comes into Northern Ireland and asks for a permit to work in Britain, that's legal. If an Atrean man who was living in Dublin moves to Belfast and says, I want to seek asylum in Britain, he can't. And that's because of the treaties we have with Ireland, because we once were the rulers of Ireland. That's why. It has to do with the Irish population. The problem being is, the same Atrean man couldn't claim asylum in Gibraltar or the Falklands to live in mainland UK.
Why not?
It's mad. It's fucking mad.
Is that the Conservatives turn around?
Yeah, they closed everything. They closed it because they wanted to choke off the immigration, and all they did was make it worse. Because they built a criminal industry by their stupidity. Their desire to be xenophobic created a flow of criminals on the other side.
These people need fucking goddams. They need.
The way you solve these problems in a humane way is look at the infrastructure. Send you up north as the chance to drill all the oil out and start spending some of that money you make from the oil into the infrastructure of power, electric, nuclear, that lot. So let's say you make 100 billion a year, Chris. You'd put 15 billion aside or 20 billion aside to pay for all the infrastructure increase, and then pocket the other 80 for whatever tax needs we need across the UK.
Yeah.
So you're making another 100 billion, 20 billion goes straight onto the fucking problems. Whilst I'm taking all the immigrants and ploughing them straight into the housing budget.
If I was that Orban, I'd turn around and go, I'm giving 20 million back to turn around and provide houses for my fellow UK people. How can you not be more... Because
the oil barons are some of the greediest people in the UK, mate. The industry, there should be morality laws, and I know this is very, very controversial. You should have morality laws on who's allowed to have certain types of industries. Things like oil, which our entire fucking infrastructure is built on, there should be moral people in charge of those industries. But they're not.
No. People that go green.
What's the time?
I can't even see that from here.
I think it's an hour more, isn't it? So are you done?
No, just one more.
Go on and let's get on with it.
And then obviously, that's obviously just a little tangent there off from...
Yeah, more. Yeah. We've both been tangenting today. But
the other one is obviously Stammer wants to keep control ready for the lovely next elections, which I think he's going to get
I don't know. You see, this is the crazy thing. In this turmoil, I can't guarantee that he's going to lose this. Because
I don't know.
Instability is scary.
Angela Rayner's rising up from the left.
He does badly, she's the new Prime Minister. Let's be very, very clear. Whether people like that or not, she has enormous support on the left of the party, and some of the centrists might take her just to get her to get stability.
As much as I've had issues with her in the past, as far as I'm aware, she's turned around and paid that bill. So
she's paid her bill. She's fixed her past. She is left leaning. But she's left leaning at fixing things.
Yeah, but she's turned around and took accountability for her actions and corrected it.
She's
How can that be not more British than anything else?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Which means if she actually continues that rate, if she gets into the being Prime Minister,
we don't have presidents.
if she becomes PM and she continues along that mindset, the reason I say continue because in fact some people
change when they get the power.
Change when they get that PM title.
Well, let's be fair. Let's extend with that example. He was supposed to be a human rights lawyer.
For the wrong side. Have you heard some of the cases he supposedly took?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, it was for the opposite side.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a human rights lawyer, but from what I heard, he fought mainly for the other side. He did take the main side, but then fought for the other side as well.
Jesus. Yeah, he was representing terrorists, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And people like real fucking evil people.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's just okay. Maybe my thoughts of a human rights lawyer is a bit. I thought he was defending innocent families trying to look for refugees. No, defending terrorist rights. Yeah, that motherfucker is a bad man.
So she goes to the correct path. I could see her.
I think
potentially getting stuff done.
I think if she comes to power as the Prime Minister,
if she comes to power as PM and then turns around, drills in the north, and then starts fixing the infrastructure, she's going to be Prime Minister for another term.
If she just did those two things within her first 6 months, she will turn Labour around horrifically. She might murder the Greens and Farage
in one swoop.
Because that would be comes to power, throws down Keir Starmer and the rest of his authoritarians, gets rid of the Digital Bill Act. That alone would get your approval. Gets rid of the Digital Bill Act. Bin that, too much trouble. Got to fix problems.
Actually, turn around and correct the Protect the Children Digital Bill Act to the way it's supposed to be, not turn into authoritarianship.
No, bill it. No, just bill it until you can start dealing with other crises. Quickest way of dealing with it. Bill it, deal with that later. Not the top of my priorities.
I would turn around and go, I'd turn around and designate it to one of my people. Shelve it, but as you shelve it, turn around and make all the lovely social media people. If you're under 16, you've got a restricted account.
Yeah, you can do that. You can modify that.
Yeah.
And not interfere with adult access to the internet and adult privacy laws.
Yeah, just turn around, proof of age, where I don't know, birth certificate or something.
No. They use digital face recognition.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Which is a bit invasive, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if it's only just to clarify that you're either over or under 16, 18, whichever they want to cap the thing at. I don't see an issue with that. Yeah, but you can't turn around and really say much because the fact face identification is used for everything these days.
It needs to be rolled back the whole lot. I don't agree with any of it. I'm genuine. I consider that's too invasive, Chris. That's an invasive of our liberty. But that's for the next podcast. We will get back to you on talking about facial recognition and whether it's an invasion of liberty or not. As always,
that's going to be an interesting one because he thinks it is. I don't think it is.
No, yeah, we have a really big difference on that one. As always, I'm John, Sean, or Yahya, depends on who you're asking.
I'm Chris. Hope you have a smashing day.
And this is always, as always, the Blue Collar Workers.